This trip had 3 people, me and the 2 kids, William and Isaac. The 2 kids flew from Calgary International Airport, arriving in Tokyo, Narita at 2:30 p.m. on August 18th, 2025. As for me, I flew from San Francisco Airport, also arriving in Narita on the same day, but 2 hours later. Around 4:30 p.m., my Japanese friend, Tetsuo, lives in Utsunomiya, about 150 kilometers from Narita. He drove for 2.5 hours to get to the airport. Tetsuo arrived very early, waiting for the 2 kids from 2:30 p.m., and then continued to wait another 4 hours to pick me up. A very Japanese thoughtfulness, and very typical of Tetsuo. My flight from San Francisco to Narita was quite pleasant. The plane was Japan Airlines, with young, friendly flight attendants. The food was delicious and beautifully presented. San Francisco gradually faded behind, the plane flying through the night. Looking out the window, a vast blue sky stretching endlessly, a feeling both peaceful and exciting. When the plane entered the airspace over Tokyo, my heart suddenly stirred, about to meet an old friend, and also wondered what I would do to pass the 14 days in Japan this time. The plane landed at Narita. That day, Tokyo was as hot as 36 degrees Celsius. Entering the customs area, it was packed with people, standing in line for hours and still not reaching our turn for the procedures. But the customs officers were very polite and gentle. Occasionally, they would call groups with non-Japanese passports to go ahead and process first, to reduce the waiting time. A somewhat tiring start, but very Japanese, orderly, patient, and full of kindness. In the US or Canada, passengers go through customs first before picking up their luggage. But in Japan, it's the opposite. You have to complete the customs procedure before you can get to the baggage area. Since I was stuck too long in the customs area, my luggage had already been taken off the conveyor and placed to the side. Stepping out, inspecting my luggage was really difficult. Standing amid a sea of suitcases, I didn't know which one was mine. As if that wasn't enough, just as I grabbed my luggage, I met 2 Vietnamese exchange students. They asked me to help fill out the immigration form in English. So it got even later than it already was. But helping fellow countrymen abroad still gave me joy. Outside, Tetsuo and the 2 kids, William and Isaac, were waiting. Tetsuo quickly pulled my suitcase and everyone else's out to the parking area. It was already dark, and he drove us back to Utsunomiya. Leaving Narita Airport, Tetsuo's car rolled into the traffic slowly, making its way toward the Tohoku Expressway. Outside, it was completely dark. Endless lines of streetlights stretched ahead, evenly bright and pristine. A very Japanese kind of order that makes you feel reassured from the very first moment. William and Isaac sat in the back, still excited from the long flight. I was a bit tired, but the feeling of sitting in the car of a longtime Japanese friend lightened my heart considerably. Tetsuo drove calmly, no rush, no hurry. In Japan, people don't honk, cut in line, or drive recklessly. Everything follows its own rhythm, a rhythm of respect. On the road, Tetsuo drove while telling us about Japanese traffic laws. Here, cars drive on the left with the steering wheel on the right. The maximum speed on expressways is usually 100 kilometers per hour, but there are stretches up to 120 kilometers per hour, like the section of the Tohoku Expressway we were passing through. The Japanese are very serious about the law. No drinking alcohol when driving, not even a sip. No using the phone. Always wear a seatbelt even in the back seat. And especially always give way to pedestrians. To drive in Japan, foreigners can use an international driving permit under the 1949 Geneva Convention, or convert to a Japanese license if staying long-term. As for Japanese citizens, they have to go through a very strict examination process. Definitely not easy. Regarding car insurance, Japan has two types: mandatory insurance, Jibaiseki Hoken, and voluntary insurance, Ninai Hoken. The mandatory insurance only covers minimum cases, so most Japanese people purchase additional voluntary insurance for better protection. In Utsunomiya, the city we are about to visit, insurance costs for a typical family car usually range from about 70,000 to 100,000 yen per year, depending on the type of car and the driver's history. It's not a small amount, but in return, you get complete peace of mind. Japanese cuisine is not just food. It is a part of the culture, of the character, of the way the Japanese treat each other. In Japan, every meal is a small ceremony. It doesn't need to be luxurious, just a bowl of hot noodles, a simple portion of rice, or a slice of fresh sashimi is enough for people to feel the care in every detail. The delicacy of Japanese cuisine lies in its simplicity. Japanese people do not like extravagance. They prefer subtlety. A dish is considered good not only because of its taste, but also because of how it is presented, the story it carries, and the respect shown to those who enjoy it. In Japan, people believe that food must be beautiful before it is delicious. Ingredients must be fresh and vibrant, flavors balanced, and most importantly, everything must be clean, tidy, and proper. In restaurants, attentive staff do not need words to show care. In specialized establishments, you will notice the staff bow when you step in, not because they are compelled to, but because it is their way of showing respect. They do not speak much nor ask too many questions, but they are always very observant, noticing whether your cup of water is full or empty, if you need extra cold towels, or if you are looking for new chopsticks. Japanese service is like a flowing stream, gentle, subtle, and never intrusive. But Japan also has another side, modern, technological, and sometimes very cute, like the restaurant we visited that evening. A small roadside restaurant, but with little round robots, not even waist-high, running on wheels and making a ping sound each time they reached a table. The robots delivered food, bowed using their LED screens, and then ran off like a child playing a delivery game. William and Isaac were so delighted that they kept filming non-stop. Tetsuo laughed and said, "In Japan, robots don't replace humans. Robots just make human work easier." One thing that surprises many tourists. In Japan, people don't accept tips, not because they are snobbish, but because they believe good service is a duty, not an extra service. If you leave a tip on the table, the staff will run after you to return it, not because they reject kindness, but because they don't want you to feel like you have to pay for being treated well. Tetsuo said, "In Japan, doing your job well is a source of pride. No tip is needed to. You don't need a tip to do that." As the car approached Utsunomiya, I looked out the window. The city lights reflected against the night sky. I thought about my first meal in Japan, about the cute robots, about the attentive service, and about the culture of not accepting tips. Japanese cuisine isn't just in a bowl of noodles or a piece of sushi. It's in the way people treat each other, in respect, in subtlety, and in the sense of peace you feel after every meal. That's why, even though people have been to Japan many times, every time they set foot in this country, the next morning at exactly 8 o'clock, Tetsuo was already waiting in the hotel lobby to pick us up. It was the same absolute punctuality typical of the Japanese, and the same familiar, gentle smile of his. To save time, we stopped by a small cafe right next to the hotel. It was our first breakfast in Japan. The prices were comparable to McDonald's, but the atmosphere was completely different. Cozy, clean, and everything was prepared very meticulously. It was also Tetsuo who had shown us this place, a friend who was both thoughtful and classy. We got into the car and began our journey to Oya Stone Quarry, one of the most special spots in the Utsunomiya area. From the outside, Oya Quarry looked quite ordinary, but once you stepped down the first few steps, the atmosphere completely changed. A cold breeze rose from deep within the earth. A soft golden-green light glowed from the high-hanging lamps, creating a space that was both mystical and captivating. The temperature in the cellar is very low. The cold isn't the biting kind, but a gloomy chill, as if you were stepping into another world. A world completely separated from the ground above. Occasionally, from the stone ceiling tens of meters high, drops of water fall, landing in the silent space, creating an echoing sound like in an adventure movie. Oya Stone Quarry has a history of more than a century. From the early 1900s, this place was once a quarry for Oya stone, a soft, light stone with a characteristic bluish-gray color, used to build houses, temples, and many famous structures in the Tochigi region. For decades, thousands of workers dug deep into the mountain, creating enormous spaces with vertical stone walls so tall that they made people feel small. Today, the quarry has ceased operation, but the vast underground space has been preserved as a living museum. Walking through the long, endless corridors, seeing the chisel marks still imprinted on the stone walls, I felt as if I were touching time, a period of hard labor yet full of pride for the Japanese people. The deeper you go inside, the more the space expands. The gigantic stone rooms, as tall as cathedrals, are illuminated by pale yellow lighting, creating a scene that is both majestic and surreal. At times, I had to stop just to look up at the soaring stone ceiling and wonder how humans could create to such a magnificent place. The deeper I went underground, the more clearly I felt that Oya Stone Quarry was not just an old quarry. It was like an underground cathedral, a sanctuary created by humans through sweat, effort, and more than a century of perseverance. The bluish-gray stone walls, towering tens of meters high, stood like colossal pillars. The pale yellow lights reflected off the stone surfaces, creating patches of light and shadow, making the space both majestic and surreal. Tetsuo said that this Oya stone was formed from volcanic ash about 20 million years ago. It is soft, light, and easy to cut, yet strangely durable. That's why, since the Edo period, the Japanese have used it to build houses, temples, and even important structures. Even the legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright chose Oya stone to construct the facade of the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, one of Japan's most famous 20th century buildings. What's interesting is that most of the mines that we're standing on here, dug up entirely by hand. Thousands of workers, over the course of decades, have used rudimentary tools to cut block by stone, layer by layer, layer by layer. When I look at the chisels on the walls, I feel like I'm seeing the fingerprints of time. This underground space is so vast that it's hard to imagine. The total mining area is tens of thousands of square meters, with stone rooms nearly 30 meters high, the height of a large cathedral. During World War II, this place was used as an aircraft factory, a cold, dark space. But it is a place that contains historical stories that few people know about. Today, the quarry has become a living museum. Part of it is preserved as it was when it was mined. Part is used to display tools, machines, and images of the industrial era. The temperature in the bunker is always around 7 degrees Celsius, regardless of summer or winter. That cold isn't the piercing kind of cold, but the cold of stone, of time, of stillness. It makes you feel as if you are stepping into another dimension, where time slows down and every sound echoes. Occasionally, a drop of water falls from the stone ceiling onto the floor, creating a distant drip sound. Just a small sound, but in this vast space, it echoes like the reverberation of an entire world. It's not hard to see why many directors choose this place as a film location. The vast space, the dim light, the sheer stone walls. All of it gives the feeling of standing in a scene from Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider. William and Isaac kept filming and taking photos. As for me, I just stood still, looking up at the towering stone ceiling, feeling strangely small. Part of the quarry is used to hold art exhibitions, concerts, and special events. The sound echoing through the stone space creates a unique acoustic effect, deep, resonant, and mysterious. Tetsuo said that many artists choose this place to perform because they believe the sound here carries its own soul. Walking through the endless long corridors, I could clearly feel that Oya Stone Quarry is not just a tourist spot. It is a slice of Japanese history, a place that records the traces of labor, war, art, and perseverance. I increasingly feel that Oya Stone Quarry is not just an old quarry. It's like a thick book, where every wall, every chisel mark, every shadow is a page recording stories covered by time's dust. Oral stories, half true, half legendary locals still pass down many strange stories about this place. Some say that on heavy rainy days, when the water seeps into the ground, you can hear sounds like singing echoing from deep within the stone. Some believe it is the echo of the workers who labored here for decades, people who spent their whole lives carving each block of stone to create this huge space. Others tell that at night, when there are no visitors, the pale yellow lights in the tunnels sometimes flicker as if someone is walking by. Not ghosts, but the spirit of the stone, as the Japanese often say, a way for them to honor what belongs to nature and history. The mysterious rooms that have never been opened throughout the century of exploitation. Hundreds of passageways and stone rooms have been created, but not all of them are open to the public. Some areas are sealed off for safety reasons. Others simply, no one knows exactly where they lead. When I climbed the last steps to return to the surface, the sunlight hit my eyes, making me squint. It felt like coming back from another world. And I knew this would be one of the most memorable places of this 14-day trip.